Despite the atrocious drone of criticism we here at What Culture dole out, we understand that making films is incredibly hard. From getting the set right to remembering lines to trying to appease corporate sponsors, it's a wonder that anyone even bothers for all the hassle you have to go through. Plus, then there's the directors. Oh boy, the directors. Those pesky little demons who demand perfection, or in Michael Bay's case, something to explode dramatically, in order to be impressed. If you're not ticking their boxes, you're ticking them off, and you're going to be reshooting more times than a redneck at a gun range. With this in mind, I'm Jules for WhatCulture.com, and these are 8 famous movie scenes you didn't know were stupidly hard to film. Number 8. Stanley Kubrick really hated how Tom Cruise walked through doorways. You know how in your daily life you walk through a fair amount of doorways, or in my case, the doors that are held open for me by the other peasants who work here, and you just go through them? It's not hard, right? Well, Kubrick didn't seem to think that Tom Cruise was doing it correctly. On the set of Eyes Wide Shut, he made Cruise enter a room 95 times before he got the shot he wanted. Cruise never once complained, obviously clearly believing he too had issues with walking, hence why he's never stopped running since. Number 7. Marilyn Monroe can't remember 3 little words. Despite her reputation as being more sex symbol than legitimate actress, there are many stories that actually contradict Marilyn Monroe's notorious dumb blonde persona. This, unfortunately, is not one of those stories. Now, to be fair, the star was going through something of a meltdown at the point that she appeared in Some Like It Hot, but the issue of not being able to say, "It's me, sugar," correctly until the 47th take is staggering. It's not the only 3-liner that she fudged either, with "Where's That Bourbon" taking 59 times to get right. It got so bad that Billy Wilder, the director, wrote down the line on a piece of paper and taped it to the inside of a drawer so that she could actually remember it. Then she forgot which drawer she was meant to open. Oh dear. Number 6. One of Spider-Man's most famous stunts didn't require CGI. It's easy to assume that any complex stunt you see in superhero movies these days is the result of an animator tinkering around with CGI for a few dozen hours, which is why it's so refreshing to hear that one of the most memorable stunts from 2002's Spider-Man was au naturel. The lunchroom scene in which Mary Jane trips and Peter Parker valiantly leaps to save her and her lunch from hitting the floor shows off Parker's newfound spidey sense and rapid-fire reaction time by having him swiftly move the tray to catch each falling food item as it drops. In the DVD commentary, special effects guru Johnny Dykstra and leading lady Kirsten Dunst both confirm that Tobey Maguire actually performed the stunt himself with the help of a mechanical rig and a little finger glue to keep the tray attached to his hand, but that doesn't mean that it was easy. It was an arduous process that took a full 16-hour day to refine. And jokingly, the pair say that the take you see in the movie is number 156. That is an impressive amount of lunch tray gymnastics. Number 5. Charlie Chaplin makes a silent movie actress say a line hundreds of times. Stanley Kubrick might be the most renowned perfectionist amongst modern filmmakers, but he was hardly the first anal retentive director. No, that honor belongs to silent film legend Charlie Chaplin. Chaplin was what one might refer to as a master of all trades. Not only did he star in nearly 100 short and feature-length films, he did so much of the work off-screen as well that he clearly believed that all of his actors should be able to hit this same level of perfection. Which is why in City Lights, Chaplin demanded a blind flower girl to repeat, "Flowers, sir," 300 times. In a silent movie. Why it made such a difference is beyond me, but there you go. Also, the scene was filmed over the course of a year with a new shot nearly done every day. Mental. Number 4. ROBOCOP spends all day trying to catch car keys. When you spend all day on set buried underneath a hulking suit of armor, albeit one made from plastic and rubber, you learn that even the most menial tasks can be about as difficult as being a jockey with a persistent case of hemorrhoids. The high-tech suit restricted Peter Weller's movement so much that even a simple gesture like, say, catching a set of car keys being gently lobbed to him in his direction took hours to complete. And that's not a hypothetical example either. In fact, it's the first scene he filmed while in costume as RoboCop. In what amounts to 1 second of screen time, Weller spent his entire day trying desperately to smoothly catch some keys out of the air. But every time he tried, the damn things kept bouncing off his rubber hands. Keep in mind that it also took Weller upwards of 9 hours just to get into the costume, and you realise that this guy must have had the patience of a f***ing saint. Also, just want to point this out, did no one think to use magnets? Number 3. Buster Keaton was an atrocious baseball player. Buster Keaton is one of the most gifted physical comedians of all time. A stuntman of batshit proportions who put his life on the line more times than I've had hot prostitutes. There was seemingly nothing this boy couldn't bat out of the park. Well, except the literal act of batting a rock out of a park, it seems. In one of his early films where he acts out a prehistoric game of pitch and hit, it turns out that he couldn't hit for shit. People on set said that he missed the rock by a country mile each and every time and took a full day of shooting to get right. That is so bizarre when you consider how much control he has over his body in nearly every other respect. Number 2. The famous Shining speech made Scatman Crothers weep from exhaustion. This entire list could have been made up with Stanley Kubrick anecdotes, really. The director never met an actor he didn't want to torture with tedious and incessant retakes. The lucky subject of his never-ending sadism this time around was Scatman Crothers, who played a telepathic chef in The Shining. The issue was that Scatman kept on messing up his speech to Danny and would infuriate the already mad as Hatter's director. Even when he got the monologue right, Kubrick demanded more and more retakes. So many, in fact, that the cycle of abuse and strain caused the actor to break down in tears between takes. It took 150 tries before Kubrick was satisfied, and even then there are rumors saying that he just started to feel sorry for the poor bloke. And number 1, Jackie Chan breaks the Guinness World Record for most takes of one sequence. Jackie Chan might be the hardest working man in the movie business. You think that's hyperbole? Consider this. Until the age of 60, Chan performed all of his own stunts, many of which resulted in innumerable broken bones and a plethora of scarred skin tissue. Yet nothing compares to the punishment he put himself through in a scene of Dragon Lord, also known as Dragon Strike, which required 2,900 takes to complete. No, that is not a mistake in my script, that is definitely there. Just take a minute to let that number sink in. Now, to be fair, the action sequence in question, in which Chan and a dozen other guys play a hyper-competitive game that looks like to be a cross between badminton and Shaolin soccer, is roughly 10 minutes long and involves plenty of intricate physicality. So it's not like Chan used 3,000 takes to film a quiet conversation between two people on a park bench. But that is monumentally mental. When talking about his perfectionist streak, the Hong Kong action legend said, "People say Jackie Chan is slow. Because I have no budget limit and no deadline. I'll film the movement until it's the way I like it. That way I know my fans will like it." Can you imagine if somebody told him they hated that scene after this? Jeez.
Hey guys, thanks for making it to the end of the video. Aren't you a star? Don't forget to like, share and subscribe below, and also there's probably more content floating up above my head, so why not check that out as well? Could be a laugh. Probably. 6 out of 10.